Hi, my name is Alyssa and I'm the deliverability lead here at ConvertKit. Today I'm going to talk you through the top things you need to know about sender reputation and how it impacts your deliverability. So the first thing to know is that every domain carries its own sender reputation. So this is the domain that you're using to send email. It's probably your website or whatever domain you have that matches your brand that you're using to reach your audience. That domain carries its own reputation throughout the internet, but specifically for email deliverability, all of the different mailbox providers have their own kind of score for you, sort of like a credit score, except this score is kept private by the mailbox providers. Unfortunately, there's nowhere for you to look up your score. And each mailbox provider has their own score for you. When I say mailbox provider, I mean like Gmail, Microsoft, Yahoo, the big receivers where you're probably sending mail and where your subscribers host their mailboxes. So each one of them is totally different in the way that they determine sender reputation. So you could have really great reputation at Gmail and have all your messages there go straight to the inbox, but you could have a problem with Microsoft because again, they're using totally different formulas and algorithms to determine your reputation. One thing to note, which might seem like common sense, but I still like to say it, is that these mailbox providers are determining your reputation based on algorithms, formulas, machine learning. It's all machines and robots. I mean, of course it is. There's so much mail to filter through. But that means there's not a human looking at your message and saying, oh, that looks great. Let's send that one to the inbox. So for that reason, senders, of course, can have the best intentions, spend a lot of time crafting a beautiful email that is relevant to their audience and still see some trouble because the machines only see what they see. And if senders aren't focusing on the right things to make the machines happy, then you might not realize you're damaging your reputation. So let's talk through some of those things that the machines like to see, what they don't like to see. I typically refer to these as signals. So with every email you send, you're sending a signal to mailbox providers, and there can be positive signals and negative signals. These signals are actually determined by how your subscribers engage with your message or how they don't engage. So some examples of positive signals. These are what you want your subscribers to do. Of course, opens, it's good. But more than opens, mailbox providers have data that we don't have. I mean, no sender has. It's proprietary to them. So for example, Gmail, they can see how long someone reads through a message because it's their platform. They have that information and they don't share that out with anyone. So they're looking to see, okay, your subscriber opened the message, but did they actually read it or did they just close out? So the longer that somebody kind of reads through your message is a good thing. Clicking within the message is good. A really strong one that most people don't know about is replying to the message. And that's a really easy way to boost your sender reputation, is just asking for some replies. And it can happen in such a natural way that just feels like you're creating a good relationship with your subscriber. Adding to the address book is always good, or adding to the contact list. Everyone uses different language there. Starring a message or marking it as important is good. If the message happened to go to like promotions or updates, dragging it to the primary tab is seen as a good thing. That means they want your messages to notify them and to be in that primary tab. And then if the message ended up going to the spam folder, if your subscriber drags it to the inbox or marks it as not spam, that's a very positive signal. So all of those things are the kinds of signals you want to send those machines in order to boost your sender reputation, because that's really all they have to go off of to determine if your message is wanted and safe. So when it comes to things you don't want your subscribers to do, these are the negative signals. The most negative signal is to mark your message as spam. In ConvertKit, this is called a complaint. So you might see in your subscribers tab, if you go to the complained subscribers section, you can see everyone who's marked your message as spam there. Every time someone marks a message as spam, that's a negative signal, the most negative signal that can be sent to mailbox providers. So you want to be sure you're not doing anything intentionally that could cause that, or of course unintentionally, but might have that sort of effect. Unsubscribing is not as negative as marking a message as spam, but a bunch of unsubscribes could end up being negative. Deleting the message without opening it is a negative signal because that tells the mailbox provider the person saw that it was in their mailbox and they deleted it without even opening it. And then one that gets overlooked a lot is if a subscriber just never opens the message. That's actually a pretty negative signal, and it gets more negative the longer they go without opening an email. It's been said that Gmail looks at about 180 days as being their big cutoff, where if they see you're emailing a lot of people who haven't opened an email in 180 days, they think that's pretty spammy. So you might see your messages start to go to the spam folder more once you hit that point. So taking all of that into consideration, some big takeaways for you are to really encourage your subscribers to engage with you in a creative way. So again, I really encourage replying or encouraging your subscribers to reply to your email is a great way to boost your sender reputation. And it's fun to get creative with that too. Depending on what you're sending, maybe you just sent out a blog post that has a nice recipe for your subscribers to try. You can ask them to reply to the message if they tried it and send you a picture, let you know how it went. Maybe you open up your email by saying, here's the weather where I am. What's your weather been like? I'm curious. And people respond back and say, yeah, it's sunny here. Little things like that can be fun, and they give your deliverability a boost. That's always good. One other creative thing I've seen people do is after a subscriber signs up to be on your list, you can reroute them to a confirmation page that gives some good next steps. So you can ask them, hey, if you see this message, the confirmation email, land in your promotions tab, drag it over to your primary tab if you want to be notified whenever I email you. You can ask them there also to whitelist your sender address or to add you to their contact list, address book, whatever language you want to choose. And then another one, a huge one, of course, is to minimize the negative actions by one, making sure it's really easy for your subscribers to unsubscribe. That should be common. In any ConvertKit message, you'll see the unsubscribe there in the footer. Just make sure you're not making them jump through any hoops to see that unsubscribe message. The easier it is to unsubscribe, the less likely it is someone's going to mark your message as spam. Also, I recommend don't use any misleading subject lines in order to get them to open. I know a lot of people see a boost in opens when they do that. Maybe they put RE, re in the subject line to make it look like it was a reply. And that might, get you a boost in opens, but typically it results in people being really frustrated because they were sort of tricked and they expected the message to be something different. And that can cause a lot of people to mark it as spam. So I would, of course, try to have a really engaging subject line, but make sure it's not misleading. And then, of course, clean your cold subscribers pretty regularly. And that's going to help clear out the people who just aren't opening your message. That's just inevitable over time to have some subscribers who just fall off and stop opening. So if you're sure to, of course, you can try to re-engage them, but inevitably, once they stop engaging after attempts to re-engage, it's good to just let those people go so that they don't harm your deliverability. I hope that helped. Let me know if you have any questions in the community, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.